Good morning. That was great timing. We have a 13-month resub from Evar. Welcome in, everyone. We're gonna finish this painting today. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 things to do, and 2 of them are like easy. I'm gonna finish the first one in like a second. But I have coffee. I should probably do that first because it'll have to dry. First thing I have to do on my list is I need to erase the chalk on the painting. So I'm just gonna get this towel wet. And like I can see some chalk in here real easy. I'm like, I think that's it. That was all the chalk. I think I got everything else from before. Sure, Thomas. Thomas says, when you're done, will you help me grade these finals? You got a rubric? I always had to make rubrics. Here are the objectives that I taught with this lesson. Did they meet that? They got 5 points if they did it like here, and this is the standard I'm looking for, and they got 10 points if they did it here. It's a 235-point rubric. Oh my god. We have a 16-month resub from Missing No Leader. Thank you. And Dream says it also keeps you fair. True. At 400 level class and it's the final, so yeah, that makes sense. We never had rubrics when I was in college, especially in art. They would look at your work and be like, C. And then you'd get a C. Anyway, that's how the entirety of my ceramics grade was done. He called us all in during the final and we had to like schedule a 10-minute block. And you laid out all the work you did for the semester. And he said, all right, your hand building project. Give you a B for that. Your sculpture project, an A. That turned out really good. I really like what you did with that. And then your pottery wheel stuff, I'm gonna give you a C for that. So your average is a B, and like that was my grade. Yeah. That was how I got that grade. And I'm pretty sure that's how I got all of my art grades in college, is the professor would be like, I don't know, I feel like her work, I remember it, A. Or like, I remember it, but in a bad way because they didn't try. Let's give them a D. Wyla says, I would hate any subject marked subjectively. Unless I felt like it was a math class, where it was like, well, what's the answer? I feel like everything I took was subjective. Like, even with, like, science class, it was like, oh, well, they showed up. They asked some questions. Let's give them a good grade. And Dream says, I got the gumdrop grapes. They're so good, aren't they? They're like the most grape ever. They remind me of grape candy. That's why I like them. Thomas says, what's your grade for this painting? I'm very critical of my own work, as I think most people are. So currently I would give this a B, but we're working to fix that today. B for bacon. It's like how ice skating is subjective at the Olympics. I just watched this really good video on Simone Biles' vault and how they do not give her the difficulty she deserves with what she's doing. So they mark her difficulty less difficult than it actually is to discourage people from attempting it or something. It was something, the video was really neat. It was on Secret Base. Thomas says, room for improvement, B. Exactly. There's room for improvement. We're going to improve. Okay, finished coffee. Switch that with water so I don't knock over the ceramic. A for the sky and mountain, B for the water. I like the water. I think the water's turning out good. This is the part I do not like. This wedge. It's too pine tree. And that's what my goal is, to fix it today. This, varied, beautiful, look at all the different things. I like that. So the plan is to take a few of these pine trees and turn them into leafy deciduous trees, like these guys. And then make it look a little more varied there. And then we're gonna add some grasses over here a little bit. And then I don't like this little shoreline I did. Some of it's fine. Like, I think this little part is fine. And like some of this back here I think is fine, but this part especially I don't like. And this has all these rocks, so we're gonna just put some rocks over there and cover that up. Pokemon Princess says, like how they banned the dead loop. That wasn't Comanche. Who was that? Oh my god. The Corb. I just watched a video on the dead loop too. So we're gonna move. Are we too tall up? I think we need to drop the canvas a little. Corbett. Make that level. Vagabond, this tree is too tree. It's too pine tree. It needs to be less pine tree and more deciduous tree. All right. You're moving? I'm moving this canvas. And on Tuesday, it's gonna move across the country. Noah says, less tree, more animal. I was talking to my mom about the painting, and she's like, are you putting any animals or anything in it? I was like, no, that wasn't really the plan. And she's like, I just think you should put some animals in it. I was like, that's not really my thing. It's not too late for a dragon. Alright, what palette do I want? I'm working on trees. So that's the mountain palette. This is the tree palette, but it's now the right bank tree palette, which is too saturated for the left bank. There's fish in the water. A loon. Oh god. My first group of internet friends, before my Starman.net friends, we called ourselves the Loons after that bird. And one of the reasons the Pretender show is so special to me, and I'm making Steven watch it right now, is because that's how I know those people. This is almost empty. I saw one of these the other day where the bottle was like this long, and I was like, ah, they made a new one. So I'm going to scrape off the palette and get rid of all of this old dried paint so that when I'm mixing paint on top of the dried paint on the palette, sometimes it pops off like this piece here. And this is dried paint. And then it like flakes, and then it gets into what I'm doing on here and is then chunky. And we don't want that. I just set the blade down and it made a terrible noise. Like a fingers on chalkboard noise. We were just talking about grading papers. There was one teacher where I taught my final year teaching who had a real, honest-to-goodness chalkboard in her classroom. And she hated it. So she covered it with bulletin board paper. And you can't staple into it, obviously, but she just taped it over it. And then, like, taped, like, I don't know, whatever she had taped over it to, like, make it decorative and pretty. But she didn't like having the chalkboard. So she had, a whiteboard on wheels that she used instead. And I was like, chalkboard is so much better. Can I convince the custodial staff to move the chalkboard to my room? Because I would love that. You cannot shade with dry erase markers when you're drawing. I can shade with chalk. I could get chalk pastels and do like a whole photo. Taking the chalkboard out of the art classroom was the worst decision. Thomas says, oh, that thing is glued to the wall. Yeah, I know. And then in my art classroom, not only did I have a whiteboard I hated, but they put a smart projector in the middle of it. Like imagine this is like the whole whiteboard across the wall of my classroom. They put the projector in the middle, so I had a little bit of whiteboard and a little bit of whiteboard and whiteboard behind the projector that I couldn't use. And it was a smart projector with the pencils that you could use to draw, which were even worse somehow than using actual whiteboard markers on the whiteboard. Because it would always be off and it would never work and it would disconnect. God. It was terrible. I hated it so much. And my classroom had a bank of windows, like full windows across one wall, and the projector was not bright enough to see with the blinds closed and all the lights off so you could see what was on the projector screen. And at some point, someone put a privacy film over the glass. So I guess the kids weren't looking out getting distracted, even though there was nothing to see out there. It was trees. So you didn't even get a view. You just got frosted glass that had yellowed and sort of chipped in some corners over the years because the school is old. Anyway, back to the chalkboard. One of my aunts used to live in an old schoolhouse. Like an old built in the 1890s schoolhouse. And it was my favorite place to go as a child, out of all of my family's houses, because it was obviously the most fascinating thing. And over the years, they'd have people stop by and be like, I went to school here. Here's my class photo from 1942. And it had bubblers in it. And you would walk into the foyer of the schoolhouse and it would go upstairs and downstairs, right there at the front entrance. And right at the top of the upstairs was where the bubbler used to be. And you could tell it wasn't there when she lived there because the floor was really creaky. And so you could just stand in one spot and kind of rock back and forth and you could just hear the floor creak. The house was scary. I did not love staying there overnight. And there's been times I had done that. You know, even as an adult, I stayed there once in my 20s. And I didn't like staying there overnight. It was kind of scary because the house was ultra creaky. And when I was young, they had 2 Siamese cats that just, if you've been around Siamese cats, they just scream. I should get working. I'm just putting paint on palette though. Anyway, so the cats were indoor-outdoor cats, kind of like Bagel is, and they would just go outside at night and just scream outside the windows. Anyway, so it was it was hard to sleep there a lot because it was freaky and you know, when you're a child you are more scared of a place being haunted. Yeah, so it was not fun to stay there overnight, but I loved going in the day and getting to see it and explore it. So downstairs was like the stage and like where the cafeteria was. And that was neat. And like the bathrooms were still like with the stalls and everything. So like it was really cool. And my uncle used to do metalwork. So like his studio was downstairs and like he had all of his metalwork up and it was just really cool. And they collected antiques and had a lot of cool old things. Anyway, in their attic, when they moved into the house in, I believe, the 70s, they found the chalkboards from the school someone had moved them up to the attic at some point. And they said that there were some up there that were like actual slate, like this thick slate, like as thick as this canvas slate, just up there. And like, that's the best stuff to draw on with chalk. And they're like, we're scared to move them because they're like a metric ton. Like they weigh so much. We have no idea how anyone got them into the attic. And if they fall and break, they just shatter because it's stone. It's a very brittle stone. And they're like, I guess they just live up there forever. And some of the slate was newer and you could tell because it was thinner. Because once, you know, with the progression of industry, like they're able to cut the slate thinner and make it lighter. So you could tell which ones were like really, really old and original and which ones were like probably put there in the 30s. Anyway, they no longer live there and that's kind of sad, but like it was a really cool place to visit. All right, I need alizarin. And I probably want more of these greens because I'm almost out of all of them. Noah says, as an adult, I'm scared of places being haunted. That place would have freaked you out, because I was terrified as a child staying there. And their guest room, for some reason, was decorated with clowns. No idea why. It just was. Alright, sap green, where are you? What color are you? You're sap green. Anise, absolutely no. Crescelium, oh no. I think when they moved in, it was there's like a tiny strip of wallpaper along the top, and it was balloons. And so they apparently just got nicknamed the clown room. And then they found this very cursed clown doll. Like I said, they collected antiques. And they put that in there. And let's see. Let's grab some of this. And he's, why though? This side of the family is very fun. And when I was younger, we'd be driving around, and if there was a rummage sale going on, or if we passed an antique mall with this particular aunt, she would just like scream. Like the car would be dead silent, and she would just go, ah! And we'd be like, oh my god, what is it? And she's like, we need to go to that yard sale. And then we'd have to go to the yard sale. Phthalo Blue Red Shade. There. Alright, so I refilled the palette back up with my colors. And this piece of plastic needs to go away over here. And now we gotta figure out what I'm doing here. Chalk pastel. So some of these trees need to be leafier, like this guy is. And I think it just needs to be made a slightly different color, and like this guy is. So I want to turn some more of these into that. So like, I think, like they're all like pointy pines. Like maybe I want to turn this guy into more of a knot pine tree. And I think I'm gonna also turn this guy into a knot pine tree too. How am I gonna do that exactly? I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out. What I'm gonna start by doing is I'm gonna start by making the darker color again. Also, I have a glare. I need to turn this sideways for a second. Yeah. I'm gonna start with making the darker color, and then we're gonna go into some lighter colors on top of it. So we're gonna kind of like repaint it. Just those ones I circled. And my first color is like this dark teal. And it's desaturated teal. I shouldn't use my brush to mix. I know better. I added some alizarin crimson to this teal I mixed to like make it less teal and make it more neutral, and it's really purple. Chris Silliam says, it's kind of crazy we won't see big canvas after Monday. It feels like the end of an era. That's something that was really weird for me when I started painting, was like saying goodbye to a painting. Alright, I've remixed this color into a teal, and now it is more desaturated. However, it is very dark. It is darker than it needs to be, so I need to lighten it up, and I'll probably have to make more adjustments. Well, I take time off from painting after big canvas. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to go back to doing Dark Cloud on Mondays. The coming Monday we'll be packaging this thing, but the week after it will probably be Dark Cloud. And I'm not 100% sure yet. I do want to do some pour paintings because they are less taxing than this. This is taxing. It's a lot more like mental thought and like precision. So like, oh, still too dark, but it's close. But those might have to wait till September. I want to do something abstract with the Yinmin Blue, but I haven't decided exactly what yet. We have a 15-month resub from Valix Butterfly. Thank you. He says, hope your Saturday is awesome. I hope yours is too. We are celebrating Brandon's birthday today. I made cake yesterday. And the cake is sitting in the fridge. This is really close. Noah says cake is so good. Yeah. Noah did help with cake. You're not making Brandon suffer with Golden Corral? No. Unless he wants to. No, he's supposed to pick where we're going to eat tonight. And he's the one who kind of made the plans. A non-spring rally collective birthday. Is he the only one? Yeah, everyone else is between January and Josh is June. Early June. So like, we're all like in the first half of the year, and then like it's Brandon in August. Okay, I've mixed up this teal. Let's see how I feel about it on the brush. I think it's too saturated. There's an easy fix for that though. Are you bone black? Or are you carbon? I think you're bone black. Let's add just a touch of that. Yeah, Alex is the earliest in January. That still doesn't feel right. So what kind of tree is not pine? Deciduous, anything leafy. These are conifers, and we're making a few of them not conifers. Oak, maple. I think I got it. So I'm just going to fill in. So there's that tree. It's not done. I just filled it in to make it the right shape, and then we will add its highlights in. So I did that one, and now we're going to do this one. Actually. So I'm just fixing this shape up until I'm happy with it. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
How is your chat?
Ask him.
Chat, how are you doing? It's me, Cryptic Green Man.
Are you in frame?
No,
Okay.
I'm always just out of frame and blurry. As intended. Kepler, buddy. I'm about to go downstairs and feed him.
Okay. Say hi to Chaz.
Yeah, I will.
Remind him that there's donuts.
Yeah. Hey, chat. Me and Chaz were here, obviously, yesterday, doing crowd control. But everyone else was out, like, on the town or whatever. And because everyone was out doing stuff, I waited up, and I was working. So by the time that Mal got home, I actually had already done all the vlogs, including yesterday's.
Wow.
I did yesterday's vlog before I went to bed.
Wow.
Which is a rare thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool. That's how it used to be in every single college day.
Mm-hmm.
Like every day in college, which is wild to think about now. Like at the end of the day, I'd be like, well, time to edit the video from today, and then do it and schedule it and then go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know, not schedule it. I don't think you could schedule things at the time, but that was just funny. And he says, so Japan on Monday? Well, the problem is there's still company in town, and I'm going to be busy.
Yeah.
But it does mean that for at least a little bit today, I will be working on Japan, so I don't think Japan will be out. It probably still won't be out the next week. But I will get some headway on it. The next one is just wild. It's like 2 hours of footage, and that's just so much.
So much.
So much. Alright, I'm gonna go feed the cat and feed myself, and if you need anything, you let me know.
Okay.
Last night as I lay in bed, I counted the donuts I ate yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a number that exceeds what I would probably want to consume in a day.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to focus on happiness. And yesterday, the thing that brought me happiness and joy was doing crowd control and experiencing that insanity, and donuts. So I had a lot of joy.
Good, I'm glad you had joy.
Kepler, would you like some joy?
He very much would.
You want some joy? Let's go eat.
Was stream fun last night? I didn't get the chance to see any of it. Okay, so I made these guys less pine-shaped. This one's still a little pine-shaped. I might change that. There were chickens everywhere. Let's make this guy rounder. That's rounder. Okay, now we can add those highlights in. And I'm just going to take, what brush do I want? None of these, smaller brush. Nope. This one? I just stuck the tip of these bristles into some paint and a bristle stuck in there and it's just sticking out. Wild. You can't stay in there. You'll end up in the painting. No one wants that. So I'm taking the blue I just put down on top of those two trees, mixing it with a little bit of green so it's less blue, and then lightening it up. Mr. Deathkill says, I'm pretty sure there's at least one cat hair already in the painting. Yeah, I'm sure there is. There's at least one. Probably should have pulled my hair back. I have a hair tie, I can do that still. I mean, that's already the problem with my own hair. At least mine are easier to see because of the length. Kepler's are not as easy to see as the length, but his are either solid white or solid black. That was too much right there. I need to step back and look at this. That's better there, but I think I need to make the other two that way as well. Kepler DNA free with purchase. More likely, if you order a painting from me and you get it, that you will have cat teeth marks in either the glassine paper or the box itself. Not the canvas, that's too wide for him to bite, but the cardboard, sure, he would bite that. There's a box that's been living in my office. Mainly because the door swings shut, it's not weighted right. So there's some things in it that I haven't like unpacked still, but it's mostly just my doorstop at this point. And Kepler walks in and he will chew on that box. There's a lot of teeth marks on it. Okay, we did those two. So now we need to do these two. I don't know if I love it yet. Maybe this will help. So, mix up dark color. Palette knife, I just set you down. Why are we drying out so fast? We need to fix that. I'm trying to tint this just a little blue, and it's not going. There we go, now it's cooler. I know this paint is bone black instead of carbon black, so it's supposed to be semi-transparent and doesn't... It tints faster than carbon does. Carbon is very overpowering, but yet this is just really struggling to, like, tint to a color. Okay, I think I got it. I ended up with way more paint than I needed, but that's okay. It's not a ton. I don't feel like I'm wasting it. That's my whole metric. Do I feel like I'm wasting good paint? The answer is no. There's just more than I wanted it to be. Okay, so now what I'm doing is these pines I circled here, these two, I'm going to, that's too bright. I'm going to paint over those as well. So now there's a void pine tree. And we're going to make a few more void pine trees. We're going to make this one a void pine tree. I had to check if the song was from something because it sounds like a video game song. Void Tree 2. Do I want to do any other void trees? I don't think so. I think that's it. Okay. Now, I need to make these pine trees the right shape for not pine trees. Oh my god. That's what I'm trying to avoid. So these need to become the right shape for the side type of tree we're doing. Oh my god. Like Steven said, I was out last night. So I am tired. Not so tired I can't paint. I don't think that's a problem. Just more tired than normal. This brush isn't... I cut this brush because it was too long, and I don't think I cut it straight enough for this. And I have a glare right here, and I can't move the painting this way any further because it's in the wall. So I just have to lean my whole body. And this brush is just not doing anything. Let's find a better one. You are too big for this job. See, this is where it comes. I have all these brushes. You guys can't see them all. There's a lot. And I look at them and I'm like, oh, I need this type of brush and I don't have it. So I'm like, oh, I need brushes. But then I always forget what kind of brushes I actually need to buy. And then I buy some and I'm still like, oh, there's a brush I need. I don't have it. Found it. This is the one I want. This guy. And two of my brushes are sitting in the loft area for clicking like this when people hit 12 months. Maybe that's the brush I'm actually looking for. This one is stiffer. I think this is the one I want. Buy all the brushes. I just have a paintbrush store in my house for myself. I can't see this at all. Okay, that one set. Okay, void trees are no longer pines. Now they need to become highlighted. Okay, this one, less void shaped. So I'm making a green-gray color for this. Glare. Like, this doesn't help. Then it's just dark. So, like, I'm trying to squint to see on OBS, and I think it looks okay. Alright, time to step back. I think I need to brighten up just a tiny bit on these. Yeah, it's too soft. That's what it is. There's not enough, like, definition. Oh, this is when the long handle's gonna get in my way. Okay, how do we feel about that? I think it's starting to help tie these together. So let's clean off these brushes, add some grasses, and then we'll add a few rocks. Okay, where do I want to put grass? I think I want to bring a little bit right here. And this part, I think, just needs to get darkened a little bit. So I'm going to draw myself a little line. And maybe we'll bring some in here. I can't see this side of the canvas. Now it has to come this way. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. Well, we'll put grass there. Alright, so darken, grass, grass, grass. Then we'll add a few rocks. I just looked at this and I thought, I really like what I did here. Sorry. I was talking to Noah yesterday, and I was like, you know, sometimes there's still a lot of, like, imposter syndrome with this. Like, on one hand, I know how many paintings I've done in my lifetime. And, like, I'm like, yeah, I paint. But, like, still sometimes I'm like, there's an imposter syndrome of, like, look how much better other people are. And then sometimes I look at something and I'm like, oh, I did that? No. No way. And, like, that's how I feel about this Milky Way. I'm like, no, I didn't paint that. I woke up and that was just there. And I'm like, it's nice to be proud of yourself. And like I said, there's things about the painting I don't love. We're working on fixing those because I didn't give myself an A. I gave myself a B, room for improvement, and we're working on improving them. And you're always getting better. With something like this, there's not a mountain peak to hit. You just keep painting. And you're like, I'm gonna get there. And you're like, no. You're only halfway, and then you have no idea of where you're gonna get. Anyway, what am I doing? I'm mixing up grass color. Anyway, that's the fun thing I think about art sometimes. Like, even when I'm super frustrated with something and how it's going, I need a flat brush. Tiny brushes. Okay, here is a brush I actually need. I need to buy a small flat. That's not... Here's one, but you are too big. You are smaller. You will do nicely. This one's brand new. It still has the tube on it. First break. Clean is that water? Pretty clean. Wash off the sizing, which is basically just a starch to keep the brush from getting damaged in transit. It keeps it stiffer. Like cracking the spine of a book. Yes. Let me find another one. Is there a bigger one that's brand new? Aha, this one. Here's a brand new brush. Like, it's super stiff. Like, I'm not putting a whole lot of force here, but like on a brush like that, I should be able to easily bend it. And bend the bristles. This one has all the starch in it. And then you have to break it. And if you see powder, that's the starch in it. Now it's used. Now I can wash it and use it to paint. So when I go into a store, I have to say they don't particularly love when you do this, so I try to find ones that people have already cracked for the first time. And then I'm just going to shape it nicely and let it dry because I don't actually need this brush right now. I try to find ones people have already cracked so I can get a good sense of what the bristles are like, and then I buy one that hasn't been cracked. Do I have another one of you? So like this one I've painted with, and like I want to know if it has that snap because I like that with acrylic because it lets me do a very fine line because it snaps at the end when I drag the brush, whereas like a watercolor brush doesn't tend to do that. And like this guy is like super floppy, so it doesn't have as much of a snap. It's much softer. And then like this one is super, like this one is just like a makeup brush almost. So this one's good for like kind of just like softening things. And then you got like your bristle brushes that like you can like, you know, paint clouds with these, but like I like them for tapping a lot. Yes, so that's why I need so many brushes. You wanted to know it can handle that heavy paint. Yep. So I really like Simply Simmons, and Simply Simmons comes in two types. This type, which is like a maroon color, and this type. This is also Simply Simmons. So like one is maroon and one is brown. The maroon ones I like best. Those are the extra stiff ones. And these ones are fine, but they're not as stiff of bristles. So I like the maroon ones best. Okay, grass. Just like on the right bank, I started by painting some black. I swore I had some slow dry out. There it is. It's clear, so I couldn't see it on my palette. And I'm just going to... Can't see that. It's not dark enough. Bring in some grass here. I don't know how well you can see that, but as I start to build it up, you'll see it better. I'm also going to darken up with the same color just under here. Try not to get my arm in paint. Very important. So these ones I have a little bit shorter, and then these ones are a bit medium, and then these ones are even longer because they're getting closer to us. And I'm gonna give those a second to dry so I can erase the chalk, because what's happening is the paint is mixing with the chalk and it's lightening it just a little bit in a way I don't want to deal with. In the meantime, we're gonna draw rocks. So I think I can put a rock here and give it a buddy. And I have a lot of rocks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. Do I want to make that a rock? Kind of. Yeah, why not? And like I said, I don't like this right here. So we're gonna make some rocks there. No. I'm too tired for that. Alright, another one of these rocks needs a friend, because right now I have like 1, 2, 3. And these two look too similar. It also probably helps that they're a little shapeless right now, and that's not helping how I feel about them. Let's put one back here. I don't like this one. Yes. Honestly, I have the biggest problem with Persona music, so I should change that song too. Okay. Those are good rocks. Don't get me wrong, I like the Persona music. That's not it. Alright, so we're gonna do a rough blocking of these, like I did originally on the rocks, over on the other side. So I have a gray, and we're gonna make it a little bit blue because we're on the left bank of these. These ones are blue too, to be fair, so. Okay, now we need to go even lighter with this. Emmy says, when is the disassemble stream? You said you would have to take it apart to ship. That will be Monday night. Because I'm finishing the painting today. And then tomorrow morning I'm going to paint the bottom of the canvas. Not on stream because I can't. It's too big. I'm probably actually going to have to go into a different room to paint that. And then Sunday night, I'm probably gonna do the isolation coat so that on Monday I can take it to have it scanned. And then Monday night we'll disassemble it. Trucks are helping. How I felt about it. Kickley, this busy weekend. Yep. I think all those rocks are good. Now I just need to give them their little shoreline line. Okay. That's good. Now I'm going to erase chalk, finish the grass, and then I just have to do... I think I'm on final touch-up, which just means like bringing a little bit of these greens from here down into this reflection. And then sign name. And Dream says, so close. I know. I have really enjoyed working on this painting. Where's this white spot? On the back? Yeah, I think it's back here. But it's also really exciting when you're almost done. Where did I just put my new brush? There it is. I have like 15 brushes sitting right here. Most of them the bristle brushes for the tapping. Definitely no dragon or loon. No, no dragon or loon. Grass. I am using the best green color, as you all know, for this. Oh, thank you, Andream. It is a big accomplishment. I've never done anything this huge. Oh, I need to have my eraser ready. Because I know I'm going to get paint on this rock. So what I'm trying to do with this green here, even though it's just covering up the black I've already painted here for this, it's still, like, you can see the brush strokes. And it's filling in some of these empty spaces. And it'll help when I make it even lighter. We have a 16-month resub for Gedzooks. Let MalMakes know when you've been subbed for 16 months. I did it, Mal. Thank you. Renee says, I asked Maddie if she has that green. She was very suspicious. How do you know about that green, Mom? Does she think you grew up in a void? We also have a 16-month resub from Seemingly Jess. Thank you. I don't remember if it was me that I got asked this or if it was another teacher and I just, like, heard the story, but, like, there was a student, and this was an elementary school student, so it's a little more understandable, I think. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean go home? Don't you live here at the school all the time when I'm not here? I did it, I painted under rock. Oops. gotta reach around the side now and get the side part over here. This brush is losing its point because there's too much paint in it. I think that helped a lot. And I need to just add a little bit of shadow under the grass. And let's use some gloss glazing liquid for that. So I'm just shading in under the rocks a little bit here because they're gonna leave a shadow. Otherwise they kind of look like they're floating. Oh, I know what I need to do. I didn't like this. I need to fix that. So how do I want to fix that? Too brown, needs a little bit more neutral. Too brown, more neutral. I think I just didn't like how harsh that line was. So I'm just softening it. That feels way more natural. I'm so glad. Okay, I'm gonna step back, and I really think the last thing I have to do is just add a little bit more greens to the reflection on the left side. Yeah, we are almost done. So like these trees have the green, and like this guy here and this guy here. So I need to bring a little bit of that down into here, and maybe change, which one is this? It's like here. I think I combined these two. So I need to make this kind of more of one. Here. And then you probably, this one doesn't hit. And then I combined these two. So I need to do those areas. And then I'm done. That was the last of it that I needed to do. I have a tickle in my throat. Okay, so to do that, I need to take those colors and just draw them in there. So I'm going to actually draw these first. The shape on that one is fine. So you just need to become the right color. And you two need to be more this shape. Yeah. And then you need to also become more this shape. Those three things. And you go as far right as I can. So I've mixed up more of a green instead of this blue-green. I'm going to start by painting over the highlights. I didn't mix enough. I didn't even mix enough for the first tree. I don't know what I was thinking. Now these guys, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to paint over their highlights, but I'm also going to make them larger overall because they need to hit out towards these lines. Hi.
Hi. I am gonna go out for a bit.
Okay. I am almost done.
Good.
I have to do these 3 reflections.
Cool. Looks good.
Thank you.
See you later. Love you.
Love you too. Bye. I had to mix up more of this color, and I think I made it too bright. This is like the next level color I need to make it a highlight. Not the mid-tone I was aiming for. Garage go burr. It'll go burr in a second too. There we go. Okay, this tree here. Okay. Those shapes are better. Now I just need to bring in the highlights. And maybe a few shadows that I'm lost in fixing the shapes. But we're gonna start with the highlights because I already mixed it. There's something it needs yet. I think maybe a brighter color. But now these need a little bit brighter colors. But that's easy. I have that. Okay. There's the same color, so now I need to make it lighter. Okay. Now we're going to take a step back and judge the entirety of it. But I think that's it. I think I just have to put my name on it. All right. No, I did find one more thing. It's a minor thing, though. I had lost some of the shadows in fixing the tree shapes for the reflections, so we're just going to bring those back in. Okay. I did that. And now I think the highlights I did, these guys are too bright. Just going to tone those down just a tad. Okay. Toned that down. Now we can sign name. Very happy. Cool. Let's grab it from here. Actually, I can erase the chalk on these rocks. And around this guy. Now we can move this. There's a little bit of chalk in here. Just a little bit. Honestly, this is one of the most frustrating parts, is trying to sign my name. Has it always been frustrating to sign my name or no? Sometimes it's like, why am I struggling to sign my own name? Like, this should be the easiest part. And sometimes I'm like, no, that looks terrible. Sometimes I think about it too much. This canvas is so big. Oh my God. Now this is wet, so the chalk won't work. think that's too big. Crucillium says, all day I dream about big painting. Yeah, that's... I've also been dreaming about big painting. Okay, we'll try again. That was a larger signature than normal for me. And I think it's too big. What did I just... That's not an M. There. There. Now, sometimes I like to use the paint marker and go over it and then paint my color on top. We're going to try without that this time. All right, beautiful, perfect Yinmin blue. Where is the finest paintbrush I have right now? This guy? Yeah. You are quite transparent of a color, I have to say. Kind of regret using a flat. It's going fine. I just have to keep rotating the brush. Especially like around the loop for the A. And the L's gonna be the same way. I'm trying to get it too perfect, and my hand's getting a little shaky with it. Like I said, this is not the most opaque paint, so I'm going to give it just a little bit of a second coat in some areas. Okay. That looks good. Gave it 2 layers. The chalk is messing with my brain because it looks really different next to the chalk. So once it's dry, I can erase that. Hooray. Let's center this. Can we see all of it? Do I have to drop it? I think I have to drop it. Well, everyone, it is officially done. Thank you for watching me paint the whole thing. I like how the song is Dog Park right now. Wonderful. And I finished it before my deadline. Awesome. I will celebrate later with cake. For a different celebration, but still. Cool. So yeah, this painting started as stretching it from the start, building the canvas from scratch, which is something I've only done like 1 or 2 other times before. I got to use cross braces, which I used on my first stretched canvas. And I don't know. I'm very happy with things, like how they turned out. Like I was saying earlier, like there's, you know, everyone's gonna always have imposter syndrome and you're like, God, what am I doing? And you're gonna struggle with things. And then sometimes you'll do things and you're like, very happy with it. And I think this turned out really good. It's one of my favorite pieces. Yay. I like the color harmony on it. The values, textures, things have turned out nice. Mr. Deathkill said, you stretched the canvas on July 5th, so the painting took about 5 weeks in all. Yeah. 5 weeks. Cool, so things that are coming up. I will be painting the base of the canvas off screen because there's no way to show that. But it will get finished. Like you can see this side here. The top is already done. This side is also done. So I'll paint the bottom of it tomorrow. Isolation coat. Monday I'm gonna get it scanned. And Monday night when I stream at 7 p.m. I'm going to unstretch this and package it on stream. I'm gonna go in the tabletop room and do that. And we'll get it all packaged up so that I can mail it on Tuesday. We're gonna watch magic happen? Yeah. At the very least, I think I'll take a photo of it stretched when I go stretch it. Again, when it gets to its home. And like post that so you guys can see it. I'm not gonna film that because I gotta bring enough stuff to stretch this when I get there. Someone already brought it? No, this is a commission in a way. It is like a gift commission. But there will be prints of it on Redbubble. That was part of what I talked to them about. I was like, do you mind if I do that? Also, I'm planning to stream it, so if you go look and watch the stream, it will not be a surprise. And it is not a surprise. They've been watching it. But it was a lot of fun. I had a great time painting this. So, Monday night I am doing that. Tuesday morning will be breakfast stream. I will not be streaming Tuesday on this channel because I have worked hard on this and am tired and think I can do that. But I will be at breakfast stream. Yeah. Can't think of anything else that's happening. All right. It is Saturday. There's probably a Steven and Friends out maybe already. I don't know. I do know there is a vlog that came out. so go check that out. We have a 16-month resub from Mataruski. Thank you. I'm also going to do that. Thank you, Renee. That's what I needed to do. Thank you to my Patreon supporters for letting me be able to do things like this. If you're interested in that and the perks, there will be a link in chat. And I think that's all. Oh, tower mode. Oh yeah, we did tower mode last week. Oh yeah, that was fun. And there's the anniversary vlog. We went out and had dinner. We played some games. Had a good time. And then we watched a movie that I really enjoyed. We watched Baby Driver. I really liked it. And we met JJ. Alright, thanks everyone for being here. I will see you Monday night to package up this painting. I think I have everything I need. I'm slightly worried about that. And that's all. Hope you all have a good weekend, and I will see you on Monday.